technology jobs in 2019. I'm Tonya Hall for ZDNet and Tech Republic, and joining me is Dr. Jonathan Reichental, technology professor and former chief information officer for the city of Palo Alto, California. Welcome, Jonathan.
Well, thanks. Good to see you again.
So give us a quick summary of the tech classes that you're doing right now, the training that you're doing on LinkedIn.
Yeah, thanks for that. Fundamentally, I am an educator. This is what I've discovered about myself. Whether I was in the role of CIO or as a writer, I'm educating, and I love to do it. I love to empower people and help them be successful. What I do in terms of choosing topics is, well, first of all, I react to anything my universities want me to teach, because they know what's topical. But then I'm thinking about what do I want to learn and teach. And of course, blockchain has been hot and continues to be hot. So I have several courses on both the basics of blockchain and even beyond the basics. Related to that, I have a few courses on cryptocurrency. Regardless of the fact that it's going through, kind of its normalization right now, I still think it's an important topic, the future of digital money. And then there's a new topic that I've got into, and I've just released a series on it around the fourth industrial revolution. And the reason for this is the one I'm most passionate about right now, because it includes blockchain and cryptocurrency and even smart cities and artificial intelligence and autonomous vehicles. It is what I believe to be the unifying topic for the changes and the transformations we're seeing in our society. And, as a person who spent many years trying to figure out what's going on, why is this tech happening? What does this tech mean to all of us? For the very first time in my career, I can now define it through the lens of an actual revolution that we're all going through. And I wanted to be the guy who sort of had a point of view on this. I wanted to share my thoughts, and you can find it on LinkedIn Learning, and I'm just thrilled to how it came out. So I hope you enjoy it and your viewers enjoy it.
You mentioned blockchain, cryptocurrency. You also touched on artificial intelligence and a couple of other things. As we look ahead for 2019,
right?
What areas of technology are blooming for job seekers, and what areas might be waning?
Yeah, I think you need to be thinking about your career on a regular basis. I think you need to have sort of almost a check-in with yourself. I don't know what the frequency is. Maybe it's every 3 months or every 6 months. And you have to figure out, is what I'm doing still really relevant and valuable? And just do this. I think it's really healthy. You might find that, what you're working at is becoming less relevant. If you're doing some significant data center work and you're seeing your organization move rapidly to the cloud and to software as a service, you might say, you know what, I can see the writing on the wall. I will have a role here, but it may not be as valuable. So we're definitely seeing this migration from the data center to having service providers take over some of that capability. So jobs related to deep in the data center, they're still going to be valuable, but I think there are going to be less of them, and less people will be able to do more of the work, if that makes sense. When you are strategizing about your career, you can't really think in 6 month or 1 year time horizons. You've got to say, if you've identified that you need to change, and so because you see the writing on the wall, or maybe you just say, hey, I want to do something more interesting and more exciting or something, you got to plan a few years, because you're going to have to study it. You're going to have to maybe get some experience. Maybe you're going to have to then apply for a job. It's a process, right? No doubt the obvious ones are data science. Remarkable opportunities in data science. That's probably not a revelation to anyone. Cybersecurity. I love this topic. We need people innovating in cybersecurity, because we are increasingly a software-driven world, and we are just increasing the vectors every day massively. So, IoT is amazing, but it has holes, and we got to plug those holes, and we got to make sure the tech is secure for people. Our smart homes, this holiday season, people bought smart devices for the homes, tons and billions of dollars worth. It all has to be secured. So cybersecurity is a big one. If you want to push up against the more interesting, but let's see where it goes, I think blockchain is cool. I do think that's an interesting one to sort of figure out if you could play a role there. Artificial intelligence, no doubt, probably not for everybody, but my bet is that AI gets baked into everything. Every device has some level of AI. So we're going to need millions of people working on AI, both the implementation of it, the ethics of it, the support, and the security components of it. More traditional roles will still be valuable. Project management, I can't say enough about this. If you're a project manager, good on you. If you want to become a project manager, lots of work. Business analysis, I think business analysis is continues to be valuable and increasingly valuable. Finally, again, sort of in the kind of borderline space of tech and the future, I would say things to do with sustainability, the future of the planet, the future of cities in terms of can we sustain this life that we have? Can we sustain, or can we convert to renewable energy? Can we make sure our environment is clean? There are going to be a lot of tech jobs in the sort of clean energy, smart cities, sustainability space. And I think that's one worth looking at too.
You mentioned a lot of jobs in technology that are related to government positions. Who's actually leading this space, in your opinion, as far as technology-rounded thought leadership in government right now?
Well, thanks for helping me remember that I should have mentioned that myself. I have written a course on tech careers in government. And in fact, until the end of January, it's free. So if you go to LinkedIn Learning and you look for tech careers in government, or my name, Reichental, you can consume my course for $0 until the end of January. So please do that. Now, I personally, I spent many years as an IT leader in government in a progressive city, thinking about the use of technology and how it can help with a whole range of big issues. But I have a good cohort group. There's tremendous people all across the US in various cities and across Europe and Asia. I've met just amazing people on this topic. We need good people in government. It's one thing to sort of stand outside of government and criticize it. There's another thing to get in there and actually be part of the change, the positive change. Because technology is at the center of every organization now. So if you're a technologist, I think that city life, government life can be very, very rewarding. So I'm going to advocate for, think about that as a place to play, whether it's in a city, a county, a state, or even at the federal level. We need people working on data science and project managers and business analysis and folks working on cloud migrations and cybersecurity. So very important domain for people to think about when they don't typically think that, that government is actually an innovative or interesting tech space to play in. And the reality is, it really is. It's a very rewarding space, and one where what you do, you can see the results very quickly. What you do really matters, and I think that is part of a new generation of people who want to do not just good work, but do work that's meaningful.
With technology advancing on so many fronts, what recommendations can you offer on how people can stay current on areas that might intersect their own specialties?
Yeah, that's I struggle with that question myself. Like, how do I keep apprised? And I'm a person who has this amazing appetite for knowledge and emerging technologies. Selfishly, I'd say look at some of my courses, read some of my blogs and my podcasts, because this is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about all of us succeeding in the future, and the only way we could do that is to try to understand what's happening, the trends, to prepare ourselves, to make the investment in ourselves. So, I can provide quite a lot of content for your audience. We're probably spoiled for knowledge these days. Whether it's Twitter, I'm a big fan of following tech leaders and organizations on Twitter. YouTube is pretty incredible when it comes to knowledge and ideas. What is not so easy to figure out is what's good and what's bad. And by the way, I should mention all of the channels you work for, whether it's ZDNet or Tech Republic or CNET. You are providing an enormous amount of value too. So there's no simple way to become aware of trends and where you need to be focusing on. You've got to actually put aside the time. You've got to decide, hey, you know what? I'm like this. This is what happened to me. My interest in blockchain and cryptocurrency doesn't go back to 2009. You know, I was watching it from a distance like everyone else. You know, it seemed interesting. Many years had to pass before I was intrigued by a speaker at a dinner I went to, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. Enough so that I said, I got to learn a little bit more. And I went home and I tried to figure out, how do I come up to speed on crypto and blockchain, and sort of figured out my channels. And actually, the more I got into it, the more I was pumped up. I thought, whoa, this is this is a pretty incredible technology and a whole new way of thinking about storing and working with data. And so you might just find that yourself. You know, find out what you're. Look at the world of things you could explore. Dig a little deeper, and then you'll find your passion, hopefully.
Good advice, Jonathan. Dr. Jonathan Reichental, technology advisor, professor, and former CIO at Palo Alto, California. Thanks so much for joining. If somebody wants to find out more about your classes, or maybe hear more about your personal story on how you are self-taught, how can they do that?
There's a number of things. Twitter is the obvious one. It's just Reichental. My last name is my Twitter handle. LinkedIn is pretty good. And then I have my own website, reichental.com. Yeah, so I think those 3 channels would be perfect.
All right. And find more of my interviews right here on ZDNet or Tech Republic, or go to my website, tonyahall.net. Thanks for watching.